So it is definitely possible to advertise for the church in a healthy way, right? But there's also an unhealthy way to advertise for the church. And today we're going to look at a few examples of people that didn't advertise in the best way.
The weakest ones are the strongest ones in this upside down kingdom. The ones that needed you the most are the ones that hurt you. Still you came, still you came.
Alright, so the first example is with a church sign. You can definitely put really good messages on a church sign, okay? You can put catchy phrases, you can put things about the sermon, you can put events going on. But then there are the times where you might get carried away just a little bit. Well, let's look at one of those examples. Yes, you read the sign correctly. It says church hymns only, King James Version only, no contemporary music. So pretty much you know what you're getting before you take a step in that building, and they're telling you, back up off here if you think you're going to bring something else. To me, that is crazy. I can't. All right, here's the thing with these signs, right? I actually took these pictures myself. Me and Bianca were driving down the road. I'm not going to call the place out where it's at, okay? It's not even around where I'm at. So we're driving down the road, and I seen this sign, and I was like, Bianca, stop the car. She was driving. I got out of the car. No, I was driving because I ended up almost got a ticket after that. Anyway, I was driving the car. I was like, hold up, pulled over to the side of the road, walked back there to take a picture of this sign because that's crazy to me. It's one thing to advertise in a good way, but that's right there saying hey, we're not changing. Things are going to stay the way they have been forever, period. That's it. And that's not what we got to do right now. The church is at a crisis point in America where we have to make changes. I'm not saying to become worldly, but in order that we reach the world, we have to try different ways of reaching them, okay? I'm not saying you have to sing contemporary music, because that's not the case. But it may help, all right? And another thing, there are a ton of different versions out there. King James Version is not the original manuscript. It's okay to read another one. But even if you feel like that, that's all right. But don't sit there and say, don't even walk off in this church if you got another Bible, or we might chunk it at you or something. Because that's what I would feel like if I walked in there with my Bible or something, I mean, that's crazy. We cannot do that kind of stuff, guys. The way you advertise yourself, even as a person, can do that. You're more powerful than a church sign with the words you speak and the way that you present yourself. So also watch the way you present yourself. All right, here's example number 2. Believe it or not, this was at the same church as the sign was at. So I turned back around to see the sign. Then I see this sign on the gate that says, you must be born again. And yes, I know you have to be born again, and I preach on that. But to literally put a chain on the gate and be to enter this narrow gate, you must be born again. How do you expect to reach a lost world, guys? See, and that's the thing. I don't know why they even advertised that. Was it a thing of saying, don't come here unless you are born again? Or trying to just say, you must be born again? Because somebody who's not a Christian or who has not heard about Jesus in an in-depth way will have no idea what you're talking about and probably won't show up there anyway. So, yeah, you did a good job of representing the narrow gate and saying you must be born again to enter, but then at the same time, I don't think you're going to have anybody else enter that gate unless they are born again, which we're trying to reach a lost and hurting world, not just a world of Christians. So, bad advertising example number 2. Here's probably my favorite. I hate to say my favorite. I'm not sure if they're trying to represent unity or if it's division. I don't know. Example number 3. Yes, you've seen 4 churches in one parking lot. All right. Now, real quick, by showing these, I'm not trying to hate on the church. I love the church. I would die for the church. Okay. I literally would. But here's the thing, guys. We are so divided and we got so many problems going on that somebody has to point them out, and we can't just talk about them. We have to do something to fix it. All right. But back to the picture. 4 churches, 1 parking lot. So they could be saying, hey, we're trying to be unified here. You may believe different things, but we'll just all share the parking lot and be together. So I don't know if they share joint VBSs or joint revivals, or if they just have a 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock service. I don't know. But from an outside perspective, that is division. Okay, when you pull up somewhere, if it's somebody of a different religion and they pull up to that parking lot and they see 4 buildings, all that say church, but all that have a different name on it, all they're seeing is these people can't agree on nothing. Why would I be a part of that? So here's the thing. We may not agree on everything, guys, but we have to love each other enough that we can work together. Again, they may have tried to do that with the whole put it in one parking lot, but from an outside perspective, it doesn't quite look like that. I hope y'all enjoyed the video, but I want to leave you with one thing, and here's the question. Are you being a good advertisement for Christ or a bad advertisement for Christ? So what I mean by that is, are you being a good example for Christ in the things you do, or a bad example for Christ in the things that you do? When somebody looks at you, do they see Jesus inside of you, or somebody who really hasn't been changed by the gospel? Now, if they're seeing a bad example of Christ, you need to work on that, and you need to focus on being a good example so that the world can see Jesus in you. Guys, I'm telling you that right there is better than any sermon I could preach. Your life is a sermon in itself. What kind of example are you setting for Christ? Set a good example for him. God bless you. I love you. Have a good week.